World Cup. How to play. The object of the game is to have one of your teams win the World Cup. Pick the host country and Matchday cards from either the 2018 Men's or 2019 Women's World Cup and put the other back in the box. Shuffle the country-backed reference cards and deal them evenly to each player, but no more than 6. These are their teams. Players must have at least one team in each half of the groups. If not, try again. Alternatively, you can draft teams or assign them another way if you want. Print off a scoresheet from worldcupcardgame.com. Remove the 2 whistle cards from the event deck, then shuffle the event cards and deal 3 cards to each player. Using the Matchday 1 card as a reference, lay out the team cards in each match next to each other with the next game match below it. If playing with the advanced rules, place the team cards so their ability is face up. Otherwise, have it face down. Then, place out the corresponding stage rules reference card. Assemble the event deck based on the matchday you are playing. For example, Matchday 1 in the 2018 tournament uses the Group Stage 8 Game Rules reference card. Shuffle the event deck and deal 2 smaller decks, one with the first number size and one with the second. Place 1 whistle card into the smaller deck and shuffle it. Then, place the larger deck on top of the smaller deck. Place the draw deck above the game matches. Place 1 event card from the remaining event deck, face down without looking at it, below the matches. Then, place the stoppage time card on top of it, followed by 3 face-up event cards below that, called substitutes. Set the remaining unused event cards aside without looking at them. They will not be used for this match day. Each player places their team reference cards that match the teams on the table face up in front of them. The player with the host team, as indicated by the country on the back of the team reference cards, goes first and is given the other whistle card for reference. Then play proceeds clockwise. If no player has the host team, then pick a player to go first. If a player who has not been eliminated does not have any teams playing in a match day, then their turns are skipped, and all event cards in their hand are saved for the next match day. On your turn, you must perform one of the following actions. You may either play 1 card from your hand on any team based on that card's requirements, or you may make a substitution by placing 1 event card from your hand face down at the bottom of the pile under the stoppage time and take 1 face-up substitute card on the table and add it to your hand. Or you may dribble out the clock by discarding any number of cards, up to the maximum number indicated on the stage rule reference card, from your hand to a face-up discard pile next to the draw deck, then draw that many cards and add them to your hand. If you are playing with the advanced rules, you may use one of your team's abilities before or after your regular action. To play a card on a team, you can either play a card as an event, play one to nullify another card, or play one to upgrade another card. Unless a card says otherwise, all cards can be played as an event. Each team has a power number at the top that indicates how many event cards can be played on that team. Whenever a card is played, it is placed next to the team, overlapping outwards, with that team's final event card being played perpendicular. Whenever a card is nullified or upgraded, the card is placed on top of it, completely covering it. However, you may not nullify or upgrade a card that has another overlapping card on top of it. The final card on a team may always be affected. Penalty kicks are resolved immediately when played. Both players involved each place 1 card from their hand face down on the table, then both reveal simultaneously. If the ball icons are identical, then the penalty kick is blocked and it is discarded without effect. If the balls don't match, then the penalty kick scores and the card remains in play. If a player involved in a penalty kick does not have any cards, then the top card from the draw deck is used instead. If ever you need to nullify 1 goal from a 2-goal card, use a 1-goal filler card as a temporary marker to keep track. At the end of your turn, you must draw cards from the top of the draw deck until your hand size meets the minimum hand size requirement on the stage rules reference card. Unless an ability or card says otherwise, you may only draw cards at the end of your turn. If you have more cards in your hand than what the stage rules say, you do not need to discard. Players keep playing until the whistle card is drawn. Then the match day moves into stoppage time. The player who drew the whistle places it in front of them. They will go first in the next match day, and the previous whistle card will be used when building the deck. Reveal the cards under stoppage time one at a time, and match the color of each game ball to the team card's border colors. Each team receives half a goal for each ball matching their color. Now, all matches are resolved by counting up the number of goals each team scored. Fractions are rounded down, and the team in each match with the highest wins their match. Record the numbers on the score sheet, then play the next match day. In the group stage, matches may end in a tie. However, if they are in a knockout stage, which is any game with direct elimination, like the round of 16, those matches proceed to extra time. In extra time, players play a smaller version of the normal rules with the following changes. Remove all cards currently played on teams. Create a new draw deck with 4 cards and 2 cards per game in extra time. For example, 2 tied games would be 8 cards and 4 cards, with the whistle shuffled into the 4 cards and the 8 placed on top. Place 1 card under stoppage time and 1 face-up below it. Any existing face-up cards under stoppage time remain face-up. Only players who have a team involved in extra time may play cards on any of the teams involved in extra time. Anytime a 2-goal card is played, it is immediately replaced with a 1-goal filler card. Players may only dribble out the clock with 1 card at a time. If only 1 player is involved in extra time, then they will perform all the turns. If no players are involved in extra time, then the players take turns drawing the top card of the deck and playing it to any team until the round ends. If any games in extra time end in a tie, those matches then proceed to a shootout. Each player in a shootout sets aside their hands, then shuffles all the event cards and deals 2 5-card hands to the table with 2 face-up cards in each. Pick a player to go first, and they either decide to pick a hand for themselves or to determine who goes first. Players conceal their hands and take turns resolving penalty kicks against each other, revealing cards simultaneously and comparing ball symbols. After each kick, they draw 1 card. After 5 kicks each, the player with the most goals wins. If it is still a tie, then they continue to each take 1 kick until only one of them scores. If only 1 player is involved in a shootout, they may only control their team or one of their teams if both of their teams are in the shootout against each other, and another player flips over the top card of the deck for the other team. If no players are involved in a shootout, then alternate flipping the top card of the draw deck for each team instead. Once all the winners for the match day are determined, you progress up in the match day and repeat the process until you reach the end and a World Cup champion is determined.